Hello. My name is Balasubramaniam Natarajan, and I'm going to take a small screencast or a video which is going to give us an intro to Amazon Web Services of EC2 service, which stands for Elastic Cloud Computing, which is nothing but running your own virtual machine up in Amazon's cloud, and we'll be able to control that machine from your desktops. So if you like my videos, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Let's dive into AWS without any further ado. Okay, so what I've done is I've opened up a Google and Google page and Google for AWS Amazon login. So I'm going to click on console. So if you are a new user, okay, you would have to create a free account, which is fairly easy. So if I right click that, it's going to ask me for, let's see. So it's going to ask me for my email address. So provided I give some email address for now, abc@gmail.com, okay, and clicked on next. So it says that this information does not exist. SCOTT dot let's see 23. Okay, anyway, what I'll do is I'll try to log in with my own account, and let's go on from there. Okay, so it's signing in right now. So, and I have signed in right now. Okay, so this shows the region in which they are currently operating out of, and this orange bar shows that right now whatever instance which I launch would go and sit in US east of Northern Virginia. Let's go ahead and click on services here and click on EC2, because that's what we are going to launch. There are hell number of services which they have. Going through each and every one of them would be a very laborious task. So I'm going to talk about some of them and give you a placeholder so that you get to know the looks and feels of it, and you can find your way around. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch an instance. So I'm going to go in for free tier as everyone does, because it's just a training video. So I'm going to select this particular thing of Amazon Linux. This happens to be a Red Hat distribution based Linux, which Amazon has customized for them. So AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. Okay, let's select that. So once I've selected that, it's asking which one do I want it to be in. So I'm going to select the T2 Micro because that's where I will be there in the free tier eligible. If I go for anything else, T2 Nano or something like, I'm going to be charged a small fee if it's Nano. So the larger I go, I'm going to be charged more. So let's stick on with the free tier right now to get the looks and feels of it. Okay, let's configure instance detail. So in this, I can see that I'm going to configure just one instance. So if I want to launch a couple of instances, I can say just two. I'll have two instances launched. So I'm going to give just one. Then network, what network this particular instance is going to go and sit on, okay, because any computer, even your home desk computer, right, desktop or laptop, would be there on your home network. Okay, here that particular network is virtualized. Okay, that's called as a virtual private, I forgot the name of it, because I'm so new, but that isn't an excuse. Let's Google search it right away. AWS VPC, it's virtual private cloud. Yeah, that's it. So that's the thing. Then I'm not going to specify which subnet I want my instance to reside on. I'm going to let it at default. So what this does is, like, the region of Northern Virginia has around six availability zones. East 1A, B, C, D, E, and F. So they have six zones, and each zone has a different subnet to it. So I can choose to place in which subnet I want my instance to start upon. Okay, so it's like in your house, if you have just one access point, so you just have one subnet. Okay, so you have one ISP, say. Who's the ISP? Let me talk from India perspective. So we have Airtel. So I have, if I have Airtel internet connection at home, that would be one subnet, okay? And if I likewise have another internet service provider, say like ACT or Ticona or Hathway, so those would be different subnets. So these things corresponds to each and every subnet. So if one of the availability zone were to go down, which in effect equates to my Airtel internet going down, I would still have internet upon my ACT, and provided my instance is on ACT, I would still be able to access it. So that's how you have to visualize that for now. Okay. Then going for auto assign public IP. So if this is not enabled by default, you will never be able to access your EC2 instance if this is just the instance which you are going to create there. Then I'm going to leave it at default. Then shutdown behavior, I'm going to terminate my instance. Okay. Then let's click on advanced. So here I can say what are the additional scripts which my machine should run when it is trying to boot up. Okay, I'm going to leave that empty for now. Click on add storage. I'm going to stick on with the default storage which is getting added to the root partition, which is 8 GB and an SSD with a general purpose SSD which has 100 IOPS available. Okay, and this SSD is not going to be encrypted, by the way. So adding tags is like I can add a tag as to what department this mission belongs to, or the tag is limited by human imagination, and we can have only up to like around like 50 tags or something like that. So, and each of these tags is going to cost you money, even though you're running on free tier. If you have tags, I believe they are going to cost you money. So go let's go to the next configure security groups. So here I'm just going to try to SSH to my box. In addition to that, let's add one more rule of TCP port 80 to be open to the world. So I can give a description of this is going to be HTTP server fat finger, and this is SSH for MGMT management ACT activity. Okay. Next, I'm going to click on review and launch. Here it says I'm going with T2 micro with one CPU with a memory of 1 GB. EBS stands for elastic block storage, and I have port 22 open and 80 open. And this is IPv6 enabled, so that's why the other one shows up. So then the instance detail is going to be this storage and tags. I don't have any tags. Okay, let me click on launch because it's going to take some time. So before I launch, right, I need to be able to have a way to log into this mission. So it's asking, do you want to select any existing key pair, or do you want to create a new key pair to log in? So this is going to be basically a passwordless login to the machine with the help of a certificate, which we are going to generate right now. So I'm going to say like create new key pair. Okay, so it's asking what do you want to name this particular key pair as. So I'm going to say this is going to be Bala test, and I'm going to say download my key pair. Okay, so I'm going to put it on say home, AWS, and Bala. Perfect. Let's save it there. So now that it's saved there, let's go ahead and launch the instance. So currently it's launching the instance. I can view the launch log or click on my instance ID to go and see how the instance is faring. So each and every instance would have its own private IP as well as a public IP. The public IP would pop up as soon as the VM starts running. So the VM would usually be up and running in around like 4 to 5 minutes time. So depends on the load over there, I believe. Um, let's see. So that's where I downloaded my file onto. Let's see. So this is created right now. So I have a public IP. So I can connect to my machine with the help of my public IP or the public DNS name. So let me open up the terminal which I have. So that's the machine name which I'm going to connect to. I'm going to say SSH EC2 hyphen user is the username at that particular machine hyphen I. I'm going to use this particular key to log in. Let's see. So it says, do you want to register that? Yes. Okay, so it says that bad permissions. Okay, perfect. So what I need to do is I need to chmod. So if I do a ls minus ltrh of this particular file, it says it has permission of 6, 6 and a 4. So I'm going to chmod it to 400. Let's see if it works once again. Voila, I'm inside. So if I were to do a sudo soup and press enter, so I'm on the mission which I have created right now, ls cpu. Let's see if I have, yeah, I have one CPU which I had asked for, and if I do a free minus h, press enter. Free doesn't work there. Okay, so okay, hyphen G. It shows me the used and free. I do not know why it doesn't show me the free. Let me put it in MB M. Okay, so M at least shows me that. M shows that the total memory which is allocated to this particular machine is 993, out of which 179 MB is used and 813 MB is free. So what I can do is I can go ahead and say yum update to update all the packages over here. So let it update. So in the meantime, what I can do is I can copy the EC2 instance, Control C, and paste it here. Okay, I don't see anything loading. So what we are going to do is we are going to install a HTTPD server here, and let's see how it goes. So we are at 15 minutes mark. I don't like to keep the video very long because people tend to nod off. Okay, so yum install HTTPD. Let's see. It's going to be fairly simple and small one. So if I press an enter right now, let's see. Maybe my service is not on. etc inetd httpd status. Yeah, it stopped. So I want to start it now. Let's see the status. It's running. If I go here and press enter, hopefully it should load. Yeah, and it's loading. It's going to be a simple deal of going to var www html ls. If I go into vi index.html, let's create something like insert key. This is just a text based editor, HTML, HTML. So uh, new body, a tag hello. Escape colon write and quit. Superb. ls minus ltrh. We see that this is root and root, but others can read it too, so I'm going to leave it there and come back here and press enter. So we see the hello over here. So the web server is up and running, and let's learn how we could decommission this particular server, right? Because it's not enough if you could get somewhere, but you need to know how to get out of that particular place, right? So if you go to EC2 dashboard, you can see one instance running. You have one volume, which is your EBS, elastic block storage. You have one key pair, which we just now downloaded. We have two security groups. One is by default, the other one is because like we created one while launching the particular mission. So if I go back to my EC2 dashboard, because once I clicked on security group, it automatically fell here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to EC2 dashboard. So I believe I explained almost everything here. Let's go to instances. Okay, what's left to do is right click on this particular instance and say terminate. So what terminate is going to do is it's going to delete the particular instance and release off all the instances or the resources which we have gathered. So now you see the running instances became 0, but the volume still remains. A couple of refreshes later it should actually go off, because it takes around like 2 or 3 minutes for it to go off ideally. So we still have one key pair. Let me see, let me refresh this. It should ideally go off in a couple of minutes now. That's almost there to it. Instances. Let's see, it's still shutting down. That's the reason why it wasn't letting go of the volumes. So once this is down, it will let go of the volume, which would be evident over here. So the volume became 0 now. So if I were to try to refresh this one more time, it shouldn't load. You see that it's trying to continuously connect to my machine, and my terminal would have ideally hung. Oh, it did not hung. So it said that the system is going down for power off now, and it just closed or killed the connection. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching it. If you have any comments, please feel free to key it down there, and I'll try to find a way to answer your questions. Bye bye.